The thing about anger is that we want something else. Try telling an angry person to chill out. Because has anyone taken a deep breath? There are some people that are so incredibly calm, you cannot ruffle them. You can say what you want to them, they're not going to react. And there are others that are just waiting to burst. And I've always thought, what is it that makes you lose your mental composure and say things and use words that you never really intended to say? If you were given a chance to stop and think about it, you'd say, I wish I hadn't said that. I wish I hadn't lost my cool. I feel in many ways, when you're on center stage, when you're a celebrity, when you're, a politician or a singer or something, you get so much thrown at you, right? So many insults, so many evil, bad things, good things, all the time thrown at you. You train yourself to be insensitive to it. Like, let anybody say anything. Let anybody say. We've heard it, right? We've heard it through our lives. Sticks and stones, right? Can break our bones, but words can never harm us. We've heard it. We know we must not lose our temper. And in most situations, like if you, said something about my religion, I would not take offense. If you said something about my country, I would not take offense. But if you said I was fat, that would make me burst a valve. Right? So don't we all have certain things we are extremely sensitive about, which upsets us terribly. And we can be, beacons of guidance and worship in telling others, calm down, chill out, take it easy, be calm, relax. But when it comes to that one thing, that button is pressed and you're off. What is that all about? What is that all about? And each of us, we have buttons that if it's pressed, we cannot control ourselves. It comes from somewhere, you wonder where. And 10 minutes later, you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't. So what if I'm fat? Embrace your fat, right? Feel good about yourself. The thing about anger is that we want something else. The situation is saying this, but I want that. I want that and I need it at any cost. I'm not going to get it, right? But I can scream and shout about it, right? And people do that. You wanted that parking space. Somebody else drove and then took it. How many times has that happened to you around Christmas? Right? When you go shopping, you're slowly going into your parking space, looking left and right. Somebody comes in and takes it. And he's like, and if you shout, if you say anything, he's already screaming, right? And if you try to reason with him at that time, you're not reasoning with the man, you're reasoning with the anger. How can you reason with anger? Once anger has taken a hold of you, your identity is now the anger. And there's no reasoning with anger. You have to wait till they calm down. I always tell my daughter, she's reached the stage where her child is throwing tantrums, right? And as they're throwing the tantrum because they're not able to express what they want correctly. Small babies, 2-year-olds. Right? They want something, it's not happening, they're frustrated, they're not able to get across what they need, and if at that time you try to hit them or put them in a corner or try to, be annoyed with them, it's of no use. You're talking to an emotion. Emotions don't know how to talk back. They only talk back with more anger, with more venom, with more of that. You have to wait. You have to wait till that anger passes. And once it has passed, then you can speak reason. Try telling an angry person to chill out. The worst thing you can do. You're telling me to chill out? Do you know how I'm feeling about this? Right? What right do you have to make a judgment on my state of mind? How dare you tell me that I'm angry? I'm fine. I'm okay. We've said this a million times, especially with our spouses who know very well exactly which buttons to press. Very well. They know exactly what to say to you to make you completely mad and completely lose it. That's the time you need to exert Hamsa, meditation, right there. You have to bring it back to center. Take a deep breath and let it go. Because has anyone taken a deep breath and not let it go? They're in trouble, right? You take a deep breath and you don't let go. Is it possible? No. You're going to be out, right? We have to let go. We have to let go because that's the nature of breath. That's why we use the breath all the time. We use the breath all the time and we train ourselves when we're not angry to just be able to take a deep breath and let it go. That's the beauty of breath work. That there's nothing I can do at this point. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, no one to please. See, these things that we learn, that we say to each other are so important because they train us to actually act in situations where things are difficult, things are tough. We only get angry in situations where we feel we've lost control. You feel like how could you do this? How could you put salt a second time into the meal? Now we can't eat, right? Everything is ruined. Is it really? Is it really? There are hundreds of restaurants around where you can go out and eat. You can do 50 things at home to provide yourself another alternate meal. May not be as good as the one you had planned originally, but it's fine. Anger destroys you. It destroys relationships. It destroys your peace of mind. Is that hatred and anger? Is that how you want to be? Nobody is asking you to get rid of anger because you're bad for society. It's bad for you. Because when you're angry, your breath is out of pattern. Your breathing is ragged. It'll never be because your heart rate is going up immediately. As soon as your heart rate becomes rapid, your breath work is going to change. So can we use the breath to regulate our heart rate and come back to a stable state? Yes, you can. You can certainly do this, but then you need the awareness that I am angry. I am shouting. My voice is raised. Now, half the time we don't realize it and we get so angry with the people who tell us that we're angry. Calm down, chill out. Those are the worst things that we hear when we're angry. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. We get angry when we're exhausted. You remember taking care of your child. Usually first thing in the morning you have lots of energy and all the cuddles happen then. And as the day progresses, the laundry is piling up, you've had 4 or 5 spills on the floor, the food is not yet done, and you haven't had a chance to even look at your computer, you have emails to send, you have work to do, but here you have to take your baby and listen to some, whatever, baby book time or gym time, and you're doing all these things you don't want to do. It all comes from internal resistance. It all stems from just saying, I don't want to be here. I don't want to experience this. I don't like it. And then you burst. If you have to get angry at the bigger things. Get angry because the air that you breathe is not going to be pure anymore. Get angry because the water that you drink is not going to be pure anymore. Get angry because the forests that they are cutting are going to affect your climate. Get angry for the things that really matter and put your energy into that. Because sometimes we need to be angry enough to effect change. When change needs to happen, you can't say, oh, it's fine. Let the air be dirty. Let the water be bad. Let them do whatever they want. No. People that you find are activists in their area have to be angered enough to want to make that change. If they are complicit, if they are quiet, if they just say, let anything happen, you get walked over. So sometimes anger is a good thing. Anger, Guruji would always say, is a great safety valve. When things get too much for you and you burst out in a moment of anger and then calm down immediately. That's the best way to use it. Just use it as when steam builds up, a machine has to release the air, right? It does so and then it goes back. And then the air is stable, like your pressure cooker, I don't know if you all have pressure cookers, but we still use them in India. And they whistle like that, they make a lot of noise, and then they come to calm down. And that's how you have to use your anger. Say what you have to say, but don't let it descend to your heart. Let it be at this level. You yell at somebody because they've not done their job properly. But that doesn't mean, I'm yelling at him because I don't like him. He is so useless. He comes from the wrong state. He's wearing the wrong clothes today, right? When you're taking anger into personal things, don't make this personal. It's not about you. It's about getting something done. And there are people that know how to use anger to get things done. That said, personally, 20 years ago, I was not a very pleasant person to be around. I was angry all the time. I was unhappy with my life. I was unhappy with everything the way it was being handed to me. I was unhappy that I couldn't work. I was unhappy with everything. And I was shouting and screaming all the time. I was not a pleasant person to be around. Learning to meditate has cooled those fires. The best thing that happened to me was learning to meditate. The best thing. Because you can't come out of meditation and scream immediately. You just cannot. It's like meditation brings a smile into your heart. Because it tells you that, your life is good. Everything is perfect. Everything is really fine. And if something is not okay and you can do something about it, you do what has to be done. If you can't, it's whatever. You do what you have to do. And sometimes the anger is good and sometimes it isn't. And it is possible to change your basic nature. I am a prime example of this. Still, when I get back into the same situations, the old anger, we call that samskara, comes up. But I'm able to see it as a wave, like coming up, and I hold on to it, and I just breathe, and I just let it go, and I just don't say what I have to say. I turn, directions and do something else at that time. And that's a technique that one has to learn. We see a lot of anger around us. It's not just us, right? It's not just I'm angry, I'm an angry person. Yeah, there's so much anger around. So many people acting so nasty, saying things they shouldn't be saying. Is that in your control? No. No. Can you do something about it? No. It's like Nisargadatta says in his book, I am not responsible for everyone's state of mind. I am not responsible for the wars. I'm not responsible for the coups and the dictatorships. I am responsible for my own state of mind. I suggest to you how you have to be, how you take that information, and how you use it. That's not my problem. That's yours. That's yours. The knowledge is available. The techniques are available. You need to recognize that anger is an issue with me. Now, I interviewed this person who had so many anger issues. He said he would come home from work and his boss would have shouted at him, and he'll take the tea, which was tepid, and fling it and break the glass against the wall. And his wife would get so scared. His wife would bring the tea, how it is in India. He says one day he shook his wife and she was pregnant with a baby. And it upset him so much. It was a wake-up call for him because he didn't realize what he was doing. He was in that anger, and just the learning to breathe, learning to let go makes you realize I'm an angry person. I need to deal with it. I need to take care of it. I need to catch it before it catches me. I need to do this. See, that is precious. That is completely precious. If you don't understand that, if you don't get that, there's no improving yourself. And it's all about self-effort. It's all about self-effort. To every day wake up to different facets of your personality and work on it and become better at it. And those that are talking about it don't have less of it. They have, in fact, more of it, but they've conquered it a little bit more. Like, more times have I seen my anger, more times have I caught it. The more you catch it, the more you grow, the more things get better. The trick is in being able to be present enough to catch it before it engulfs you. Because emotions have a habit of completely engulfing you. Completely. Before you know it, you are the emotion. You are not the human being. You are not the person. So, letting go, that's our nature. That's our nature. The next time you feel angry, take a deep breath and just let it go. Om Namah Shivaya.